The strobe lights cut through the haze like knives when I asked the bartender, "Have you seen my wife?" He looked up from wiping glasses, his face half-lit by neon blue. "Your wife?" he repeated, shouting over the bass. "Yeah, man. She left, with the player." For a second, I didn't understand. The music thumped too loud, my thoughts too slow. "The player?" I asked, leaning closer. He nodded toward the exit. Tall guy, black shirt, chain around his neck. "You just missed them." I stood there, frozen, my heartbeat sinking with the music's pounding rhythm. Then everything around me began to blur, the laughter, the lights, the crowd moving in waves. It all became distant noise. She left. With someone else. The words felt unreal, like I was stuck in a bad dream I couldn't wake from. I scanned the dance floor again, desperate to find her. Maybe the bartender was wrong. Maybe he mistook someone else for her. But she wasn't there. The last time I'd seen her, she was laughing under the red lights, her drink in hand, swaying to the beat. I'd gone to grab us another round. I was gone maybe 10 minutes. When I came back, her seat was empty. Now it had been almost an hour. My throat tightened as I pushed through the crowd, heading toward the exit. Outside, the night air hit like a slap, humid, heavy with cigarette smoke. A group of people stood near the parking lot, talking. I approached one of them, a woman in a sparkly silver dress. "Hey," I said, trying to sound calm. "Did you see a woman, brown hair, red dress, about 5'6", leave with anyone?" She gave me a quick once-over and shrugged. "Yeah, she left a while ago. With one of the guys from the VIP section. The one everyone calls the player." The words landed like a punch. Did she say anything?" "Not really," she said. Just smiled and left. Looked like she was having a good time. My stomach churned. I muttered a quick thanks and walked back to my car, hands trembling as I reached for the door handle. I sat there, staring at the dashboard, trying to breathe. The rational part of me tried to fight through the fog. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe she just left with a group. Maybe she lost her phone. Maybe. No. The bartender's words echoed again. She left, with the player. I rested my head on the steering wheel, the cold leather pressing against my forehead. I wanted to scream, but all that came out was a quiet, broken laugh. I thought about our fight earlier that evening, the one I brushed off as normal couple tension. She said I was distant, that I didn't see her anymore. I'd apologized, told her I'd do better, offered to take her out for the night. She'd smiled and said, "Let's just have fun tonight, no drama." Now I understood what she really meant. I drove home in silence, headlights carving through the dark streets. My mind replayed everything, her perfume lingering in the car, her laughter fading into the noise of the club, the way she'd kissed me before we left the house. It all felt like a lie now. When I pulled into the driveway, her car wasn't there. The house looked unfamiliar, cold, quiet, almost mocking. I walked inside, flipped on the lights, and stared at the living room. Her heels were gone from the doorway. The sweater she'd left on the couch that morning was missing. Small details, but together, they painted a clear picture. She wasn't coming back tonight. I poured myself a drink, sat on the couch, and stared at the blank TV screen. Anger began to rise, sharp and hot, cutting through the numbness. How long had this been going on? There had been signs, missed calls, late nights, girls' dinners that ended near midnight. I'd wanted to believe her. Love makes you blind, but denial makes you stupid. My phone buzzed. A text from her. "Hey, don't wait up. Staying with a friend tonight. Need to clear my head." I stared at the message, my grip tightening around the glass. No apology. No explanation. Just calm, casual distance. I typed a reply but deleted it before sending. What was I supposed to say? Clear your head with him. Instead, I tossed the phone on the table and took another sip. Hours passed. The drink burned less with each swallow. The quiet grew heavier, like the walls were closing in. Eventually, exhaustion pulled me under. When I woke, sunlight was leaking through the blinds. Her car was still gone. My phone had 3 missed calls, all from her. And 1 voicemail. I hesitated before pressing play. Her voice came through shaky, rushed. Mark, please, don't do anything stupid. It's not what you think. Just call me when you wake up, okay? Please. Not what I think. I laughed bitterly. That phrase was always the cheater's anthem. I didn't call back. Instead, I went about my morning in a haze, coffee, shower, staring at my reflection in the mirror. My face looked older somehow, like I'd aged overnight. By afternoon, she finally showed up. I heard the door open, then the sound of her heels on the hardwood. She stopped in the living room doorway, still wearing last night's dress, hair a mess, eyes red. Mark, she whispered. I can explain. I looked at her, saying nothing. It wasn't what it looked like, she started. He's just a friend. I was drunk. I didn't mean to leave with him. Nothing happened. I stood up slowly. You expect me to believe that? Her lip trembled. Please. I made a mistake, but it's not what you think. You've said that twice now, I said quietly. You left with him. Everyone saw. You lied to me, again and again. What part of that isn't what I think? She stepped closer. I was angry, okay? You've been distant. Cold. I just wanted to feel wanted again. Her voice cracked, and for a second, I saw the woman I fell in love with, the vulnerability in her eyes, the guilt heavy on her face. But it wasn't enough. Do you feel wanted now? I asked. She flinched. Please, don't do this. We can fix it. I shook my head. You broke something that doesn't fix. Tears slid down her cheeks as she whispered, I'm sorry. I nodded slowly. So am I. She reached for me, but I stepped back. That small movement said everything words couldn't. She looked down, defeated. Then, without another word, she turned and left. When the door closed behind her, the silence was deafening. I sank onto the couch, my heart pounding, my mind empty. For a long time, I just sat there, staring at the spot where she'd stood, at the faint imprint of her perfume lingering in the air. The night before, I'd gone looking for my wife. But what I found was someone I didn't recognize anymore. And somewhere between the flashing lights and the lies, I realized the truth. She hadn't just left the club with the player. She'd been leaving me for a long time. I'd just finally caught up to it.